right, you guys? Podcast time.
Chew. It's quieter.
Fucking podcasting right now.
Chew quieter.
And now, to the podcast studio.
And welcome back to Chew Quieter. How you doing?
Everyone, how's it going? Good. I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm not bad.
We're missing someone here. I don't know where he went.
Yeah, we're missing Chris today. Yeah.
No.
He had a scheduling conflict. So he's excused for the day, but it's still no excuse.
Yeah. No excuse with prejudice.
Yes. Before we go any further, everyone, the summer is coming, whether you like it or not. Spring is just around the corner. So remember to go to rub-1.com and get your cleaning products for your Jeep, side-by-side, truck, whatever you got. You can
Classic,
use it.
everything.
Yes.
And I'm going to be guilty of not washing my vehicle for quite some time.
Uh-oh.
The truck looks like hell right now. So next weekend when I'm free is going to be some major cleaning of this truck and get it back to the shine.
There you go. Spring cleaning time, everyone.
And I'll be rubbing one out.
Go to rub-1.com and get your soapy needs for your rub down.
Soapy, greasy, rubby needs.
Yes. So I'll just really quick address the elephant in the room for those that are watching this episode. As you can see behind me, it's pretty blank. Like there's nothing in my office, right?
It's like one of those green screen rooms. You're just like with a white sheet behind you.
Yeah, it's very awkward. I don't know if you can hear it through the microphone, but it's very echoey in here. I've took just about everything out of my office. I've started the transition of remodeling my office. So little by little, I've been taking things out, moving it to another room so I could paint. I'm going to be building a new workstation. So it's going to be a little different. I'm going to have some more organization in here. I'm going to have it customized. Something that I've wanted since I bought this house. I wanted a customized desk and a whole recording station and everything. So
yeah, it helps. I know that I had a little desk, and then when I built my big desk and kind of made it my office, I felt so much better in here. Mm-hmm. So you'll feel it after a while. And then I don't even work from home anymore. So I'm just fucking really. So
I'm going with so my workstation is going to compose of two different areas. One is just my area that I use for video editing, for podcasting, and for voiceovers. And then I'm going to have, so it's an L-shaped desk. The other side of the desk is going to be just for my work from home for my normal
actual job.
My actual job. Yeah. So I got a new monitor coming. I went big dog. I went with a 42-inch monitor, and gonna put the dual side, the dual monitor experience away for editing and stuff like that, because I realized I don't need two monitors for a lot of the creative stuff. Mm-hmm. What I really only use two monitors for is just for work, because I work on spreadsheets all the time, every day, and multiple spreadsheets, 3 or 4 at a time sometimes. So having two monitors that are 32-inch for work is ideal. So those are not going away. They're just being reallocated, as if you want to put it that way. So within the next couple of weeks, I'll have it almost done. I'm going to start painting probably later this week.
I see a little green tape on the trim down there.
Yep, I've already started masking off everything. I'm probably going to buy an air sprayer instead of roll it on. You're shaking your head no.
Just roll it.
Just roll it.
Sprayer's a pain in the ass. A sprayer's a pain in the ass. Unless you're doing multiple rooms in the house the same color, I hate a sprayer.
Well, eventually we are going to do more rooms.
No, I'm saying, but like the same color, like throughout, like high production, where you're doing the same color throughout the house. It makes it the same. But every time you have to clean that fucking thing out, you'll know if you do it after you have to clean that thing the first time and scrub it and make sure it doesn't get gunked up and whatever, and you put all the shit through it, and you'd be like, fuck this. I'll go buy an $8 roller and throw the roller away every time. That's all I do. I go whenever I have to paint. I go and I get the plastic tray, the cheap roller, and everyone's like, "Oh, you can roll better than that." I'm like, I don't really give a shit. If I gave a shit, I'd hire someone to come and paint this room for me. But what am I going to have? A couple of little pieces of the fuzz in the paint? I'm like, I don't care. It's really not that important to me. Is that little fuzz that ends up here and there? Like,
so here's the funny thing. I've been racking my brain whether I want to paint the ceiling also or not. And everyone is like these, design people are they have rules. This is when you paint the ceiling. This is when you don't paint the ceiling. And I'm like, well, what about the rule of just whether you like it or not?
What the fuck I want?
Yeah.
Then you don't follow rules. You just do what the fuck you want.
Yeah. So I'm going to do what the fuck I want. I'm going to paint the ceiling.
I'm going to paint the ceiling. Okay.
Yeah.
Mine isn't painted. Mine is there's a distinct line in mine. Oh, there's a booby.
Yeah.
So, there's a leg lamp up there too. So no, mine has a white ceiling in here, and then my walls, they don't show up in the camera as dark as they are. They're pretty dark.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dark greenish, like army green.
I almost went with a color like that.
Yeah.
And I ended up going with a dark gray.
That probably what I'll paint this room when I redo it. Go to like more of a gray and less of a green.
Yeah.
But I've been toying around the idea, like I don't know if I really need an office at home right now.
What are you gonna do with your office then?
I don't know.
Make it a weight room. Buy some weights. Start working out.
So a useless room. So a room that nobody uses. So a room that nobody uses in this house.
You have so many things that don't get touched. A shotgun, a car.
No, the car's getting office. The car's no. I need to update the car. Maybe there's a Scout that hasn't been touched, but the car's definitely getting touched. I have to do an update on the car. I've been racking with the car big time. So the carpet arrived yesterday. I've been working on the wiring harness. So I bought a universal harness, but I've cut it and made it work. I put connectors on, and I've done everything to make it be a more vehicle specific. So it doesn't look like it's from 1966. It's more modern, but it's going to function right. It's going to work right. And I realize that I'm just a 12-volt freaking idiot savant, apparently, because I just love it. And I have people are like, oh, I hate wiring cars. I hate this. I hate this. I hate 12 volt. And I'm just sitting there, and I just have a wiring harness across the kitchen table. And I have the plugs in it. I have everything lined out. I have my papers with all of my notes and all my diagrams and everything. And I have everything rooted. I have all my tools. I've been doing a bunch of these Molex waterproof connectors. Actually, multi-pack water. I don't know. One of these waterproof. It's not a Deutsch. It's the other one. Waterproof connectors. So I've been crimping on the connectors, putting them inside.
Crimping sounds like a gang in LA, doesn't it?
The crimps.
Yeah, the crimps.
The crimps, yeah.
What set you from? I'm crimp.
I'm cramped. 12V, bitches. 12V, bitches. So I've been like just geeking out there, like wrapping, taping, looming, connectors. I've taken a lot of the factory connectors and pulled all the pins out of them and rewired them and repinned some of those. So I have all new connectors and everything is all gonna be fit right back in. So that's been happening on the outside. I got my steering column about done. The dash pad arrived Thursday, and I think some of the gauge stuff came this week. So little by little, just coming together. Get the interior back together, get it wired, and then finish the brakes, and it should be ready to run. Go.
Sweet.
Then figure out what else I need to fucking repair.
Speaking of running, it's Hammers Week.
Yeah.
They're running the EMC qualifying
EMC
today.
Qualifying was today. I actually put it on. It was weird because I didn't think that I was going to have any need or desire to watch it, just because of how I felt with the other. I didn't think I was going to, but I sat at my desk at work and I had it on and I actually watched, and it probably helps that I have friends that are racing
right
in there and seeing their cars and watching them do what they're doing. It's been like, okay, that's cool. I think I was texting a few of the messaging a few of the racers. Sean Radke. Sean is at home in Michigan, and his car was in qualification today, and they kept saying his name, but kept saying someone else was driving his car, and I'm like, this motherfucker. I'm like, I'm watching you qualified. It's not even you. He's like, yeah, I got a new baby. They have a new baby at home, so.
What kind of vortex am I in?
Yeah, I was like, this is weird. I'm like, it's a JKS on the side of the car. They keep saying Sean Radke, but then they keep saying someone else is driving. I'm like, where the fuck Sean at? So I message him, and he's like, yeah, family took precedence this year. I'm at home, and my car's out there. I'm hating life right now because I'm doing the right thing. I'm like, yeah, well.
I mean, he's gonna look back on it and say that that was a good choice.
It was the right thing. No, like I said, he's making the right choice. Yeah, he hates it, but he had to make the right choice. So it's all good. So, but yeah, just watching that. I know Diesel didn't qualify because he's been having some sort of distributor problem.
Something.
I think he said that he was looking for distributors. I thought.
Oh, that's what it was.
What he was looking for today. So, so he didn't run. I know Sergio was running today. I didn't see where he was at. There's a couple of that you see that roll at the finish line.
Yeah.
That the guy took that jump and just.
That was a nasty one.
Just overturned and just rolled through.
He endoed probably 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. That car's not racing anymore.
No,
this year that car's not coming back this year. But
he had a fast time too. I think he was the top 10.
He was doing really well. Just didn't hit that jump. It sucks, but
yeah, too big of a donkey kick there.
Yep, too big. So, but there's been some highlights. I think we've all seen the lawn dart of the Gladiator.
Yeah, you mentioned that to me. I had no idea what you're talking about at first, and then I was like, I saw it just scrolling on Facebook.
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's been reposted over and over again. So that's Jim and Barb Horn. They're out of Moab. They actually used to own Outlaw Off-Road before they sold. I think it's Outlaw is what they owned, but they used to own one of the rental companies out in Moab.
Wasn't that Jeremy?
Before he sold to Jeremy. I think it was Outlaw. He'd have to do it. So I talked to them. We'll get them on the show. And
I have so many questions.
Well, there's so much, but just the idea that as hard as the impact was, and everything about that video that you see of them getting hit, and that Gladiator's, he claims it's going to racing, and I'm like, I don't know how, but hey. Yeah. Get at it, kid. but you just watch that, and their safety equipment kept them safe, and he walked away without a scratch, nothing. I think Barb hit her knee on something and has a little bit of a limp right now, but like to walk away from something like that is a testament to how they're building the vehicles, the safety, and all of that. So I want to talk to them about how, when something like that goes wrong, you know that you're secure with your safety gear, and to keep your safety gear up to date and all that. So I think it'd be a good program to go with that. That's not Jim's first issue. I think he's tumbled a few times in some desert races and stuff like that over the years. So I think he'll have some good stories to tell us on his history with racing and that. So
yeah,
so it'll be cool. But yeah, should be a good week out there. I'm looking forward tomorrow. I'll put the TV back on and I'll watch some of the other quals happen.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Do you think this is the Super Bowl of off-road racing?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it is. I mean, this is there's races across the country here and there, but this is like you're not getting this crowd, this intensity for an entire week. Any other races that happen in Ultra 4 or any other race series, you get a day or two of maybe a day of qualifying to get a day of racing, and that's kind of it. You're done, and maybe there's 5,000-10,000 people out there, but there's not. I mean, you've never gone, right?
No.
And experience hammers. You go into experience hammers, and you just coming down the highway around the curve coming from Yucca. And you hit that curve and you start to see the little bit of dust and little trails that pop up here and there. And you start seeing Hammertown come into view and you're like, holy hell. But you do that drive another time when there's nothing out there. You're like, they built that entire area out of nothing and have 100,000 people out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous what they do out there and what gets created in that desert for a week, and then poof, it's gone.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for this week. Like you said, we have friends that are racing, so watch them, do well, or even just have fun. Period. Even if they don't do well, it's always fun for me to watch. So.
Yeah. Definitely. I'm glad that I had some excitement today, just turning it on and wanting to watch it. And like, okay, I feel better about my life.
Yeah. So we go from one Super Bowl to another Super Bowl, which is the football Super Bowl, the NFL.
I thought you were talking about Supercross.
No, I'm usually every year I'm into the Super Bowl, but this year, not so much.
I haven't watched NFL in probably 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
Don't care. Don't watch. Don't even know who's playing. Don't even know who's winning. Nothing.
See, I'm not a fan of either team to begin with, but one of the teams, this is their third time in the Super Bowl in 3 years. They've been to the Super Bowl, I think, it's going to be 6 times in the last 7 or 8 years. So I think that also is part of it. I'm tired of seeing the fucking Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Tired of seeing the Chiefs fucking get no calls on plays where there should have been a call against them or a no call. So I think that's part of it. I don't think the hype is there this year for the Super Bowl in general. And I think a lot of people feel that way because of the fact that it's the Chiefs and Philly. And Philly is one of those teams where a lot of fan bases don't like fans in Philly. So that could be the other part of it. Did you see what happened last week when they won the NFC Championship? Did you read the news about what happened in Philly?
I pay zero attention to anything.
So they won.
Professional sports except for Supercross and hockey.
So they won, and the fans rushed to the streets, and they started to climb street poles and light poles and traffic signs and all kinds of other shit. Well, this one kid, I think he's like 18 or 19, went to Temple University, climbs this pole, and it's on video. He is like, he's swinging some sort of way in a weird way, and he happens to lose his grip and falls on his head, and he died.
Ooh.
Yeah. It was like a 15-foot fall onto his head, onto the concrete.
Who are they suing for that?
Oh, they're not. No one's going to.
Oh, I guarantee you someone's suing.
Well, they might, because the city of Philadelphia, they have said they have greased the poles so people can't climb them.
That's who they're freaking gonna sue. Exactly. I'm gonna do stupid stuff and I'm gonna sue because I did stupid stuff.
Yeah.
The world's
We'll see what
great.
happens with that. I mean, his parents are obviously sad, but if they look at the video, they're going to say it's his fault. I mean, you shouldn't be climbing onto this shit. They say on the news, you know, we're greasing the poles, so don't climb them. We don't want you climbing these poles. But there they go. Fucking drunk idiots. I've been one of those drunk idiots before. When I moved to Denver in 2000, what year did they win the Stanley Cup? In the early 2001. Because it was already almost a year when I was there. So in 2001, I remember they won the Stanley Cup. I wasn't living that far from downtown at the time. So they win, and we see on the local news that everyone's rushing to the 16th Street Mall, which is downtown, to congregate because of the win. Pepsi Center, what it was called at the time was Pepsi Center, is just outside of downtown, like just a mile. So it's not very far.
It's right there in downtown. I've actually been down that side. There's a brewery right across the street from. Yeah,
Wine Coop.
Is it Wine Coop?
Yep.
Okay. Local Denver brewery. I've been there years back when I used to go to Denver. And I worked for a company that was in Lakewood. Mm-hmm. We've had this conversation for a couple of years. So yeah, one of the years we were right there, but it's right there. I'm like, okay. So yeah, it's.
So this one year, I went downtown to kind of congregate with everyone else. I have no reason to. I'm not a fan of hockey. I'm not a fan of the Avalanche, but I was drunk, so I was like, "Fuck it, let's go." So I grabbed this sign and start shaking it violently, and it's just like it's making a lot of noise. And my friends, they keep walking ahead of me, and I'm like, fuck, they're going to leave me behind. So I let go of the sign, and they keep walking. I'm walking, all of a sudden, I hear the sign shaking again, and some other guy's shaking it, like, just as violently as I was. And all of a sudden, I see the cops just tackle him to the ground and arrest him. I was like, fuck, that could have been me.
For what? For just pushing the sign?
Well, it was the sign was about to break.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like it was that violent.
Destruction of property is kind of the idea.
Because people were already throwing.
It wasn't like it was just like rattling at the top.
Yeah, people were already throwing chairs through windows and ripping plants out of pottery and all kinds of other stupid shit. So anything like that, the cops were just going to try to stop right away. You know, as they should. I was an idiot. I was drunk. Speaking of idiot, Kanye West shows up to the fucking Grammys with his wife, and she strips off a fur coat and is wearing a completely sheer outfit. So her tits, her ass, and her pussy are just out. Did you see this?
No.
Didn't
see it. I've seen like other things with it, but I haven't seen any of that.
I look, this chick is she looks just like fucking Kim. I don't know if you've seen his new wife, but she looks just like Kim. And she also looks like she's afraid of her situation. Like, you know, hey, if you're in danger, blink twice type thing.
She's just doing whatever he makes her do.
Yeah.
She's living the Diddy life with Kanye.
Well, last year he was in Italy, I think it was, on a boat. Someone else is driving this boat, and you can see his ass sticking out, and she's just topping him off on the boat, like totally giving him head. And there's paparazzi everywhere, and there's bridges everywhere, and it's just right out in the open. It's like, fuck, man. Why would you even bother having this woman as your wife if you're going to disrespect her like that?
Well, did you watch the What Did Diddy Do special on? Watch that and you'll be like, that ain't fucking nothing.
Is it the one on HBO or on
Netflix or something? Netflix or Hulu or something?
The one on Netflix hasn't come out yet because that's the one that 50 Cent's producing.
No, there's one.
There's one on HBO and then there's one on Hulu or something.
Maybe it's Hulu. Maybe it's on Hulu. I don't know. It might be. I thought it was Netflix. I don't know. Kim, I came home and Kim was watching it, and then she's like, "Oh, you got to watch this." So she started watching it. And I'm like, I don't fucking really want to watch this, but
you're like, let me get stoned first.
Yeah, I need something. I was like, I was tired, and I was just done. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be part of any of this. But the whole idea of what happens when you get to that financial level is that nothing normal satisfies you anymore. Mm-hmm. So now you're just doing stupid, weird shit.
So these guys that have that kink of, of dominatrix, and
it could be anything. It could be anything. I mean, he was kind of some of the stories were he had scouts, and he'd be in a presidential suite or something, or they rented a house somewhere, and wherever they were, and they'd send a scout out, and the guy would go to the local club and find young, beautiful men that fit whatever he wanted to do, and they'd just be like, "Hey, yeah, I'm friends with Diddy," and then they would FaceTime Diddy. And then the girls would be like, yeah, let's go back to the place. Let's go back to the house where he's at. And then the freak would start. And that's how it worked. So he was never in public to be seen taking them out. It was always his scouter.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. But apparently this scout idea is a theft from the Jeffrey Epstein playbook. Really? Basically, everything about Diddy mirrors Epstein. He's got a right-hand woman. What's her name? I forget her name, but she looks like Ghislaine Maxwell. Mm-hmm. His scout guy is like the same scout guy that I'm like, everything just mirrors everything Epstein was doing. I'm like, holy fuck. I'm like, the problem is you get so much money that you've already ran through all the other regular kink, so now you're into weird shit. So
gallons of baby oil, gallons of KY jelly.
Yeah, all that. So I mean, just like wonder, everything.
It just makes you wonder, like, who are these people who else are these people that were there that are high profile that have not been talked about yet? I mean, they're already talking about Jay-Z. They're already talking about Beyonce. They're talking about
Will Smith. I mean, so part of the video in this episode, they're talking about his white parties, and it's Leonardo DiCaprio's in there, Jay-Z, Beyonce, like all these celebrities that are in there. In these parties, and it's like, this is not just hanging out drinking, there's some weird shit going on. And then he comes out and says, all right, if you got kids here, your kids got to leave now. At a certain time the kids have to leave because it's going to get crazy. I'm like, okay, but nothing went on. So I don't know, you got to watch it. I never, the one thing that probably I learned the most, that I never realized how much intertwined he was with Albie Sure in the beginning and through some of it.
Yeah, because of Uptown
Records. Yeah,
he was with Uptown Records.
Yeah. So that and Heavy D and all that. But I don't know if Mary J was part of that. She might have been an artist, but wasn't part of the management team on there. At least not part of what they said. So like, the owners of that was all these people, and everyone except for Albie Sure and Diddy have died. And then I don't know, just you gotta watch that and be like, there's a trail of fucking destruction that led to the rest that just happened. It's craziness, but we're getting off track here.
Did you see what Dave Chappelle said about the white parties?
Yeah.
So I think this was on the Saturday Night Live special. I can't remember, or his monologue for the last one. But he said, "I've been to these parties. They were great parties. but I've never seen no sex. I never seen no freak offs. It's like, that must mean one thing. I'm fucking ugly.
yeah. It's like, go ahead. Yeah, time to go. Party's over. Doors closed. Boom. Freak off start.
Yeah. That's funny shit. You gotta go. You're not pretty enough for booty hole action. What else has happened lately that's been kind of funny? Selena Gomez was crying because of the deportations of illegals.
Who is this?
She's an actress.
Again, who is this?
Yeah.
That's the point.
But she's a fucking dingbat.
But who is this? Why do these people even matter? Why do these people even have a voice? Who fucking cares? Like, who are you? What did you do? What have you done? Have you built something? Have you helped something? Have you done anything? No. You fucking act in front of a fucking camera? Fuck you.
Yeah. I thought it was funny though.
It's funny,
like,
just like
she's saying, she's
fucking
like,
their snowflakes are melting.
She's calling them my people. It's like, well, you're born in America. How the fuck can they be your people? For one thing. Two, if they're not your relatives, they're not your people either.
They're people that are light tone like my skin, so they're my people.
It just goes to show that these people would rather see America fail under Trump than actually have order.
The TDS right now is ridiculous. The idea, the best is these riots are coming. They're protesting the deportations in the United States by waving the Mexican flag.
Right.
If you're fucking so prideful for your country, fucking go back.
Nothing says I want to be in this country more than waving the flag of the country that you're supposed to be.
You just came from. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, but we're so bad. You know what? No, it's not that. No. Come here and pretend like you want to be here.
Right.
You're not saying you have to do everything they tell you to do, but come here and learn, come in the right way, do what you have to do here. And that's it. That's all we ask.
Mm-hmm. It's not that hard.
No one's saying you can't come. We're saying come the right way, do the right thing. Ask the people that come here the right way how they feel about other people that don't come the right way. After they struggled for years and years and years, spent thousands and thousands of dollars, did all of everything they had to do it the right way, and then go, well, that was dumb. They spent like the last 10 years of my life trying to get this done, and this guy just comes over randomly and just leeches. Mm-hmm. They have jobs, they're contributing, they're creating a life for themselves, and they want to be here. And then,
you know what the funny thing is? The people that are more outspoken about that are people that came from countries that have communism: Vietnam, Cuba, China, countries like that have actually seen communism. Coming over here legally, the right way, are the ones that are the most outspoken about the ones that are coming over here illegally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they've seen it. Uh-huh. They know what's happening. It's right out of the playbook of communism 101.
Yeah.
Infiltrate and destroy.
Yeah. And what they want to do is they want to bring what they had there here. It's the same thing as people migrating from California to different states. Oh, we're leaving this because we don't like this, but then we're gonna do the same shit over here. Fucking why? Fucking stay in your place.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of shit's being done right now by Trump, and every single day it seems like we get a win. There's a new executive order being signed that's a win, or there's a new tariff that he's threatening countries with that make them bend the knee and cooperate with us, which is a win. And if they don't cooperate, they still apply the tariffs, which is a win.
So what you need to do right here is edit in a little Denzel. The game's chess, not checkers.
Seriously. I mean,
So
look at what
a little training day come into this program here.
I mean, look what he did in Mexico. You know, now that we got 10,000 Mexican troops on the border trying to help fight the illegal immigration, we had the same at the northern border with Canada trying to fight drugs coming in with a bunch of illegals sneaking in from the north side. So the snow Mexicans are finally realizing, okay, we need to kind of listen to this man because he's going to tariff the fuck out of us. Well,
yeah,
and we need them more than they need us.
They think tariff, and they turn around and go the tariffs back. So work. I have some Canadian customers that, we're going to cancel because we don't want to pay the 25% tariff. I'm like, dude, the tariff's not happening. You understand that this is a play. This is a chess move. Mm-hmm. He puts you in jeopardy, and he's going to wait to make sure that you clear the way and do what has to be done. And he's not asking you to freaking rewrite your laws. He's asking you to freaking help us make our country better and help yourself make your country better.
Right.
That's always asking for. And
so the next,
it's a coup. It's this. I'm like, fuck you.
The next move would have been he blocks their pipeline because there is a sliver of their pipeline that runs through the U.S. from Ottawa to Toronto, I think it is. Mm-hmm. And it dips through Wisconsin area and Michigan area, I think it is. So, I mean, the next move was Trump was going to cut off that pipeline and say, you know what? Guess what?
Yeah, your lease is terminated
now. Yeah.
Your lease is terminated. No, just cut it off, cap it, and go, okay. But the idea is making the country stronger and abolishing the income tax, putting the country first. So everyone's like, well, our lumber comes from Canada. No, our lumber does not come from Canada. The amount of exports that Canada has versus the imports that the United States has into Canada is very unproportional.
I think we import 15% from Canada.
Yeah, right. That's it. And how much does Canada import from the United States?
A lot. I think it's
a lot.
Upwards of like 70-something%.
Right. So again, the game's chess, not checkers.
Right.
There's a reason behind it, and you're gonna be pushed. You're gonna play the game like you're a tough guy. Oh yeah, well, we're gonna impose a tariff back. Well, okay, go ahead. Whatever. We'll just stop buying from you. Mm-hmm. And then a couple of the comments were, well, the lumber from Canada. Like, we don't need lumber from Canada.
No.
We got enough lumber production in the United States that we can do what we need to do.
Yeah. I think Alaska has
rebuilding in California, rebuilding the homes in California. Yeah, well, Georgia has a shit ton of fucking lumber that all happens. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a small company. You might have heard of them called Georgia Pacific. They're a little lumber company. They make a few products.
Yeah, and Alaska is also starting to boom in lumber also. So
yeah, right. So we're going to bring it back to our land, and we're going to give our people a job. Well, who's going to pick your fruit? Well, you know what? We can figure that one out. Make it so that you're buying our fruit, and the government will certainly subsidize. The government's been subsidizing farmers for hundreds of years.
A long time, yep.
To make sure that we have the food and what the farmers need. And then only recently has that kind of really stopped because the farmers don't matter. Now, there's, even by me, there's so many farms that were cotton fields, corn fields, are now solar fields. Mm-hmm. And they sell off the land and someone buys it and they put a solar field out there.
Speaking of solar fields, that one in Las Vegas or Nevada, California border.
Yeah, the border.
Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. That one's shutting down.
Is it the solar farm or is it the one with the tower?
It's the farm. The one that's like circular, huge circular.
Yeah. So all of that goes into this tower thing. You have to read up about it, and it's not really a solar farm. It's actually mirrors that shoot into this heating element, and it causes like a steam generation plant.
Ah, okay.
It's probably
So
just
that's
killing.
how-
It's probably killing itself.
That's how New York and I think Chicago used to be ran, was on steam power.
Yeah. So it goes through and it runs steam through this generation system, and that turns the turbine. Basically, it's kind of like the Hoover Dam, where the
Right.
water comes over, turns the turbines, and that creates electricity. So
Yeah.
you're actually creating the steam that's now turning a turbine that's creating the electricity. And they found it to be probably at some point more effective than just solar panels, but it's probably eating itself.
They're shutting it down because they're saying it's not cost effective.
Probably not.
So I guess they're doing it in phases. They're doing half of the panels right away, and then they're going to phase out the other panels in the near future.
Yeah, I out here, there's these solar farms, and they're on acres, probably like 20 to 50 acre plots, and it's just all solar panels. But I mean, what happens to those solar panels in the next 10 years, 20 years when they start to fail?
Mm-hmm.
Are you replacing them, or we just have all these dilapidated solar panels that are sitting out in the middle of the desert? So this is green, right? This is green.
Supposedly.
So you've gone through and cleared this land. Any animals or insects or anything that lived out there is now not living out there because you've cleared it all down. You've put concrete in the ground. You've put the posts and the poles. You've run power lines. You've disturbed everything. So how is that green if you're killing all the animals around it? And then what are we going to get? We're going to get 10, 20 years out of these things, and then what?
Well, just like those wind turbines.
Mm-hmm.
Those don't last very long. Yeah. These fucking people. So speaking of wasting money, Doge, Department of Government Efficiency, has been making some fucking Elon has been making some fucking moves over there.
Make some moves.
Recently shutting down a bunch of subsidies and finding out that these USAID is basically a funnel for corruption. There's money going to these government grants that are going towards shit, like
it's
trying to figure
like
out
that.
why chickens are gay and stupid things. Going towards what was the one they just found out last week? They were giving condoms to
$500 million of condoms to Gaza.
Yeah.
Like how many fucking condoms you need? And why? And why so much? It's a laundering.
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's all it is.
And that's why they're mad. That's why they're mad, because they're shutting it down. We found the corruption. We found where the money laundering is going.
Oh, yeah. And the other one is going to be grants. NIH will be probably the next one to get scrutinized and be shut down. So any of the funding that goes to all these universities for stupid research, and some of the research is the same as this research, just we have a different word, so now we're giving more money for this. Mm-hmm. So I expect to see a lot of universities shut down from losing any of this NIH funding that's kind of useless.
So speaking of useless and wasteful shit, I saw this yesterday and it kind of just fucking blows my mind. 5,000 FBI employees were part of the J6 investigations, nearly 40% of the FBI's personnel. So think of all the sex crimes that they've ignored. Think of all the other domestic security that they've ignored just investigating J6. That's just fucking crazy to me. Also, this you said was secretly funding the BBC to run anti-Trump and Musk reporting similar to the $300 million given by the Biden administration to Reuters to target Musk. So basically, Biden was giving money away to the BBC to run smear campaigns.
Yeah. Yeah, we already knew this. We already knew that he had freaking Meta, Facebook and Zucker under his freaking thumb. You had the previous owners of it was Twitter before it was X, right?
Yeah.
The previous owner of Twitter under that. So they basically locked down in any sort of social media transfer. And then the inverse of that is Trump goes, okay, we're going to let certain influencers come in and actually do interviews with press secretary. Let's keep this open and flowing.
Yeah, it's the transparency everyone wants. And here's another example of that. This came out 2 days ago. Elon Musk says that he thinks he can reduce the deficit by $1 trillion by next year. Says it will cause a cascading effect for Americans. He says, I think we can take $1 trillion out of the deficit next year. We have $2 trillion deficit, which is in excess of economic growth. If we can get that deficit in half from 2 million to 1 trillion, from 2 trillion to 1 trillion, and we can get the economic growth to match that 1 trillion growth in the money supply, that means that there will be no inflation. And I think that's what everyone was saying, was that they need to target no more inflation as a win, as opposed to reducing the damage that has already been done, because the damage that has already been done is too great.
But all the damage to the deficit is caused by Trump.
Says who?
From his last term. Oh, yeah, so the snowflakes.
Yeah.
Biden was left with the deficit. He was left with a problem.
Yeah, he had problems, all right, but I don't think the deficit was one of them. Yeah. The other thing that I saw interesting was the RFK Jr. confirmation hearings, and Bernie Sanders was questioning RFK.
Yeah, and Bernie got turned on. And
yeah, that went bad for Bernie, because Bernie starts accusing RFK of are you going to take money from pharmaceutical and this and that, and RFK Jr. is like, hey Bernie, weren't you the one that took so much money? He's like, no, I didn't take that much money. I only took $1.5 million.
Yeah.
What?
Only 12%. I didn't take any money. It was only 1.5 million. Like, okay. So 1.5 million of 100 some million. I'm like, wait a minute. You just sat there and adamantly said I didn't take any money. Only from private. Well, it was only a certain percentage. Fuck you.
Yeah.
But we've known Bernie Sanders has been a piece of shit forever, so it's not new news.
So the public opposing the public donations that were made to senators, Bernie Sanders had the most, $1.9 million. There's a whole list of public donations. I mean, they have to be made public by law, otherwise they get busted. But yeah, Bernie Sanders tops that list.
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth Warren is also on that list. Kamala Harris is also on that list.
It's gonna be everyone who went for re-election in the last 6 to 8 years is going to be on that list, and possibly even longer. I'm sure they pull records further back that Mr. Affordable Health Care will be on the list.
Well, that only makes sense. I mean,
well, they did buy a $100 million mansion in Martha's Vineyard,
right?
And a president makes $395,000 in a year,
right?
How does that math?
It doesn't. Neither does this. I just saw this. The city of Carlsbad in California just approved a $9 million homeless budget for 112 confirmed homeless. That's $80,000 per person per year. That's over $6,000 per month per homeless, in shelters, in non-shelter spending, with just 8% of the shelter for the shelter and 92% for staff benefits and outreach.
Yeah,
homelessness is a business.
Big business. It's big business. It's big business. And you should go find a friend in California government and then start your homeless freaking encampment and make some money.
Really?
That's all it is.
Yeah.
As much money as they go to help homelessness and to pay for homelessness, they're not doing it. They're not doing anything. They're the worst homelessness anywhere. I just go out there and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of fields, just total like takeover. And the thing is, most people either don't want to be there or likely are candidates for an asylum. But you can't have an asylum anymore. There's a reason you had a padded room.
We need a new executive order to bring back asylums.
Yeah. Padded rooms everywhere.
Yeah. What do you think about these plane crashes that happened in Philly and DC? Do you think it's just some weird coincidence? There's a lot of people thinking that China has developed an AI that has taken over these planes. But isn't it just so random to be these three aviation vehicles to be taken over? One was a military Black Hawk, one was a medical flight, and one was a passenger plane.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. It's you're not going to get an answer. You're going to have all these people that know what the fuck and say what the fuck. I think you posted we have all these aviation experts on the socials now, but
all of a sudden everyone's an aviation expert.
Everyone is always an aviation expert. Oh, I did this. I flew United 727 back in 1987. I know how to fly a plane.
Well, just like when that cargo ship crashed into the Key Bridge, everyone all of a sudden was a maritime expert.
Yeah. You know what? NTSB takes a lot of time and a lot of steps to process a scene, not a crime scene, but a crash scene or any sort of scene. I've been involved in an NTSB or a number of NTSB investigations when I worked in my other life doing failure analysis. There was a sheriff's helicopter that went down in Griffith Park, probably 28, 20, maybe 30 years ago. And I was working for a failure analysis company. We had to go out there and collect pieces and basically walk every square foot to tag and bag every little piece that was out there to get any piece of evidence that the NTSB wanted. And we were like, they closed down the park and they had to give us credentials and badges and different identification things to let us get into that area to be able to process what we need to process. So you'll not know for, I mean, it'll be long forgotten, but right now it's just the whole idea is, oh, well, he says stuff and he's blaming DEI, so that's not right. Well, it is what it is, but at some point something's not right somewhere to have two crashes that close together.
Do you remember in I think it was around 1987 in Cerritos, California, there was a plane crash?
That plane crash? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was near my grandparents' house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So my roommate back then worked for the coroner.
Really?
In the meat wagon. And they had to go out there and bag bodies and transport them back. And he had a scrapbook. Just a sick motherfucker. That's all I gotta say. He had a scrapbook of the stuff that he saw out there that he wasn't supposed to take pictures of, and he had a scrapbook of it. But,
I don't know why he would do that.
I don't know either. He like
I've seen dead bodies before, and there's I don't want to look.
It's not even dead bodies. This is all just burnt up like pieces of mass like everywhere. It's not even like bodies. You can't even tell what they are. It's so bad. I'm like, why would you even want this? But again, he was a pretty sick fuck.
So I'm just doing a quick search because I seem to remember there was a plane crash in Whittier also. It was before I was born. And I don't know how true it is, but supposedly one of the victims was related to the singer Richie Valens.
Mm.
So I just checked, and it was in 1975. So I don't know how close a family member that was to Richie Valens, because wasn't he died in the 60s, didn't he? In that plane crash?
Yeah, the plane crash of Big Bopper and Buddy Holly.
Yeah, the day music died is what they said.
The day music died.
Yeah. So this was at the plane crashed over Catherine Edwards Middle School in Whittier. It was yeah, so it says the plane. Let's see here. Yeah, so this is saying that there was a family member of Valens that was involved in that was on the ground. So that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And then he died in the plane crash, like years before that.
Yeah,
that's a fucking. Can you imagine just like sleeping at night and you hear this boom and next thing you know you're dead because the plane just fell on your house?
Yeah, it's eerie shit. Like living near an airport and having things not go on schedule, you get a little uneasy. Well, I lived in Long Beach, like right under a runway, and back then it was only really small planes that left out of there, and then all of a sudden they started bringing in JetBlue, and they didn't ever really fly over the house, but occasionally wind would change and they'd have to shift and they'd run over the house. And there's some days you'd be like, this fucker's going through the roof. I'm fucking dying. This fucker's not lifting up high enough to go, and you feel like everything. And old solid house, and it would just shake and be like, all right, what do you do?
Yeah,
I'm not doing anything. You can't run. Where are you gonna run?
So that's a funny thing to see that there's a woman missing in Philadelphia right now. The last report of this woman being seen was in the area of the plane crash. So she either had that plane fall on top of her and like she's disintegrated. I mean, that was a big explosion. So
yeah, there'd be no remains. It would just be pieces everywhere.
Yeah.
And then you already have other remains anyway, so it's going to be mixed in until you can separate every piece and do DNA on every piece. You're not going to know.
Yeah. But can you imagine that? You're just walking down the street, getting a burger, going to get a pack of smokes or a 6-pack, whatever it might be, and all of a sudden you're...
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, like living by the airport, like under that runway, it was like I'd be sitting in the kitchen, like some days, like.
Well, there's an airport near me that's just a municipal, and they just opened up the college there for aviation. Mm-hmm. So every now and again, I'll hear a plane flying over us, and you'll hear the motor cut out. Because that's part of the instruction is
What do you do when the motor dies?
Yeah, what happens if the motor goes out? So hearing that and then seeing it, I'm like, ooh, I know what it is, but just still has that in the back of your mind, like that might come down.
it's the eeriness of all of it that's crazy. I mean, we're not here for a long time.
Yeah.
We're here for our time, and you can go at any minute. You never know when.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
Before we
somber
go,
note
I
here. Somber note now.
before we go, one last question for you, and I just want a yes or no. We don't have to go into it. Recently, legislation was introduced to add Trump to Mount Rushmore. Yes or no?
No.
I agree.
No. Maybe at the end of this next 4 years, if he's done something spectacular and
we'll think
change
about it.
everything,
but right now,
then maybe the conversation changed. But 100% right now, no. He. I mean,
right now it's grifting for sure to say that he should be on there.
Yeah. That's just like, come on. No. We've had some great presidents that could probably be up there, but the idea of what that is, it's the founding fathers. It is the best of the first and the direction of the country that started with who's up there, and they'll have their various reasons for being up there. And I don't think he's achieved anything that would land him in that spot and put him in the same league as any of those people.
Not only that, there's no room for another head in all that hair.
Well, they can put the hair into like Minnesota or something.
They'll move it to North Dakota.
just fly in the wind all the way to Minnesota. You'll see like a statue in Minnesota with like some wavy hair. That's it.
It's too bad Chris isn't here, because I know what Chris would say. Chris would say yes. Put him on Mount Rushmore.
You know what? I want change. I want something different. I want someone that's going to take the shit that's happened the past 4 years and stop letting it go that direction. Right. Letting the idea
that's all we want
of the liberal movement, which is funded and pushed by the entertainment industry, which is full of degenerates and freaking people that sweep shit under the rug and get lost with things and have abominable habits that they want to push to everyone to create to be normal. No, normal is normal. What you want is not normal. Yes, you may believe it's normal, but it's not normal. It's not nature. It's not anything. You don't. If you see it in the animal kingdom, then that's nature. That's natural. If the same thing doesn't exist in the human side, then it's not natural. Whatever you're saying is not natural. You don't ever see 10 genders of monkey. You see a lion and a lioness.
Mm-hmm.
That's nature. So, toxic masculinity.
But who's having sex with the chicken?
Well, all right, it was
the rooster.
All right, it was me.
The rooster has sex with everyone.
The cock gets it all.
The big cock gets the.
But no, it's. I want to see change. I want to see something different happen than what's been happening, and we have this shift and this change of weirdness that it's just odd. You cannot let the squeaky wheel dominate everything.
Right.
It's been survival of the fittest. It's been the rule of the majority for the longest time, and now they're like, no, you have to accept this. You have to do this. You have to do. We're not saying we don't accept you. We're saying you're not getting in front of the line. That's it.
Right.
Go back, do what you want, live your life, have your tendencies, whatever. We don't have to accept that. No one is going to bring you up to become first in the line, first priority, first of anything, because you have something they want to do, and go do it. I'm not saying you can't do it. No one wants you to not do it. Go be happy with yourself, but don't make us have to bow down or be scared because I might misgender you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you are.
That's why I call everyone dude. It's
Fucker.
universal. Or
Fuckface. Fuckface works for everyone. Hey, fuckface works for everyone.
Dickhead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's gender neutral. Yeah. Fuckface is gender neutral.
All right, let's take our gender neutral asses off of this show already and finish up so everyone can get on with their day or night or morning, whatever they're doing. So,
all right, go paint those walls. I'm tired of looking at those white walls.
Oh God,
I can't even tell that there's a seam behind you right now. I know there's
right here.
I know that like right there. There's
corner.
like a corner over here, but I can't see it. It's like disappearing into the whiteness.
I know, it's gonna be crazy. This
Gonna look
office is gonna be so much better. Can't wait. Especially because I'm gonna have a wall mount of guns on display. I'm planning on 3 rifles and 3 pistols.
Nice.
We'll see. Don't know.
Could be more.
Figure it out. Yeah. Hopefully next week we'll have a guest for you guys. We've been trying to get a men's health professional on so we can discuss our men's health. We're a lot different from women, obviously. So we have different things we need to check out. And then we definitely need to talk about everyone getting their colonoscopies and their prostate checks and all of that stuff. It might sound gay, but guys, trust me, it's more gay to fucking go through that pain and finding that shit later on in life. So
yep, exactly. We'll keep trying. I think I'll reach out to the one that we talked about and see if we can get her on.
Yeah, we had someone lined up last week and they had canceled, and they have indefinitely canceled on us. I think they listened to our podcast just to see what we're about, and I don't think they like our political side, and I think that's why they backed out completely. So,
okay. Well,
whatever. Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. We'll find a different way.
Yeah. So until next week, everyone, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and have a good one.
Yeah, chew quieter.
See ya.